So Black Clover, a series that is met with quite a bit of controversy. There's two huge differences between people that are aware of Black Clover. There's one side that they really love it and enjoy it, and another side that they absolutely fucking hate it and think it's an abomination. Now, when I've checked out Black Clover, because I checked it out from the beginning, I wanted to see what it was all about, because it was from the same creator as Hungry Joker. It was a 24 chapter manga that got canceled early, and I loved it, and I was like, I want to see more from this creator. He came out with Black Clover, and one of the big controversies immediately, and one of the big critiques that people had about it was, holy shit, this is very reminiscent of Naruto. It looks very similar. It feels very similar. The characters' motives feel very similar. A lot of the comparisons immediately were to Naruto, because everything about it was like, yeah, this feels similar. And I'm up to chapter 99 right now. We got chapter 100 coming out sometime this week, and I kind of wanted to give my thoughts on what's been going on with Black Clover. What do I feel it's doing at this point? Like, is it still kind of a rip-off of Naruto? And just talk about the series in general. Now, I'm going to start off immediately, because I'm not holding my tongue. Asta right now, one of the things about him is that he is the typical shonen main character. He's very Naruto-esque. He's very Goku-esque. He's very that character in a sense that everybody's like, oh, it's because of his, determination that changed me, and his determination is what keeps me going. And almost everybody, whenever there's a big situation, always says that it was Asta that did this, that made me, a better person. So immediately he is that cliche. And Black Clover is a combination of taking almost every trope you can think of, especially in shonen anime and manga, using it, and to a certain degree throwing its own twist to it so that it's not a complete replication. And I think the fact that it uses those tropes is one of the major things why people hate it. It's also probably why people love it, because maybe either newcomers come to it and they don't know all these tropes, or just in general those are some of their favorite tropes to begin with, so they're like, yo, it's doing things that I really enjoy. And they're kind of playing into the feel of nostalgia that they get from, like, yo, this type of shit happened in Naruto, this type of shit happened in Bleach, because there's a lot of different things that Black Clover has done that is very similar shit that's happened in other series. There's times where it feels a little bit like Naruto. There's times where he's dual wielding swords and I'm like, oh shit, yo, he's doing that Ichigo. Even his pose with the sword in chapter 1 is like Ichigo. There's times where it feels like Magi. They're jumping in dungeons. There's times where I feel like, yo, it's Fishman Island, we're underwater. So it does a lot of different things that we've seen in other series, but I feel as though, to Black Clover's credit, while it does do a lot of those tropes, it always throws its twist. And one of the latest things that's going on in Black Clover right now is Aster is undergoing that same thing that you've seen in many different series, that inner force that is trying to take control. It's like this dark power, similar to Naruto with the Kyuubi, similar to Ichigo with the Hollow, similar to Meliodas with his demon form. There's many different cases that we've seen this many different times, but to Black Clover's credit, again, while it's doing the trope, it also isn't doing it exactly like Naruto and Bleach, for example, or even Meliodas, where when those characters were going through that process of having to deal with this force that they don't understand and this dark power, they completely would go insane. They lost their mind completely. Naruto, he even attacked Sakura and shit like that. Ichigo, he stabbed through Uryu. Meliodas was bodying everyone in sight. Asta, even though it came and the power came to him, he still was in control. I mean, granted, what's going on in the manga right now, the Dark Witch is controlling him, is a little bit different than, just the power taking over in general, so that's a little bit of a different circumstance. But the moment he actually got that incredible power that he really doesn't understand, he wasn't completely under control of anything. He had full control of himself, and he was like, I don't know what the fuck this shit is, but I'm gonna go in. Which, again, Asta always feels as though he's taking up two different characters in one. I always say he has that Naruto cliche, but he also has that Rock Lee in him, because it's hard work. He's not blessed with magic. In case you don't know, Black Clover, essentially, it's a magical world where everybody has their own magical abilities, and they have their grimoire where they could, use their book to do their spells or whatever, but the main character wasn't blessed with magical ability. The only thing he has is this sword, which it cancels out magic, but he doesn't have magic of his own, and he basically trained up his body, which is another nice difference from most other shonen characters, where even though he's a little kid, he is buff as fuck. Like, especially in some of the latest chapters, you look at Asta, it's like, yo, he's on some Toriko steroids, but he's only like 15 years old. So I like that as well, where it's not going with exactly what's happening in, shonen and just anime in general right now, where everybody got to be slimmed down. Even Dragon Ball's kind of doing it, where nobody's really ripped like they used to be anymore, you know, the muscles and shit, which I kind of like that shit. I always thought that was kind of cool back in the day. So the fact that anime isn't doing that now, but Black Clover's like, yo, our main character, he's a muscly little motherfucker, I fucks with that. And it also showcases yet again the hard work that he had to overcome. You know, he's been training nonstop for his body to be able to wield that sword, which if you think about it, oh my god, I know people are gonna kill me for this, but like him grabbing that sword and being able to lift it and shit, it's kind of like Guts being able to do it in a way. So it probably took that from Berserk 2, which again, it adds it in its own twist, but nevertheless, that's Black Clover's gift and curse. Its gift is that it does its own twist to it, but its curse is that it's using tropes and cliches and plot lines that we've seen time and time again. One of the things about Black Clover though that I fucks with so heavy is one character in particular that makes me love this manga, and I'm like, yo, you can shit on many characters in Black Clover because they're all just, you know, different twists to tropes that we've seen many times again, but I will say Yami. Yami is easily the best character in this entire series. Like, whenever he shows up and fucks shit up, or just even getting a little bit of his past and his character in general, Yami easily is the best character. He's my favorite character. He's the most deepest. He's the most complex. But at the same time, he's also a shonen character in a way where he's kind of like, yeah, you know, he's considered, you know, they're the Black Bulls. They're the outcasts of the, you know, kingdom and shit like that. They're the nobodies in a sense, but he still ultimately has a great character, and Yami is easily my favorite. He's the best, hands down. Yami for the win. But also what's intriguing the shit out of me about Black Clover is some of the mysteries, because right now we have, again, it's typical, but nevertheless, it's enjoyable. We have a traitor in the kingdom, which we've kind of went through different people. We did have that guy that looked straight up like Mayuri from Bleach, although I've seen him in color a little bit from the Black Clover OVA trailer. He doesn't look exactly like Mayuri, but he looked a lot like Mayuri Kurosuchi from Bleach. I'm just saying, we had a little bit of an incident with him, and to be honest with you, I think he was framed. I straight up think he was framed. We didn't get the full details, but I truly think that what I like to call McDonald's Kurosuchi, because he's a little bit of a chunky version of Mayuri, I think he was framed 110%. And I kind of want to talk a little bit about the Emperor. Aster and Yuno, their whole goal is to be the Emperor, you know, of the kingdom and whatnot. They want to be the Magic Emperor, but the Emperor himself, which by the way, he kind of looks like Hokage Naruto, just saying again, this is why people hate it, but this is why people love it. He is a very interesting character because it seems as though he could either just be looking suspicious or he could be a villain, because I would not be surprised if he turned out to be the traitor all along. There's something about him that throws me off. While he does come across as like he's a genuinely decent guy, he helped out Yami, he brought him into the kingdom, he's done a lot of good things. A lot of people that came into the kingdom was because of him, but it could be for his own greedy ambitions as well. Maybe he needed followers or wanted followers, but there's something about Julius, which I believe that's his name, Julius Caesar? Is it Julius? It's something along the lines of that. The Magic Emperor anyway. He does come across as fishy, and I wouldn't be surprised if he has some involvement, or maybe he's very aware of the involvement, and he's pulling some sort of fucking Itachi type of shit, like, you know, playing in the shadows. Like, maybe there's something there with him, and that's kind of intriguing me as well. I will say, though, that it gets on my nerves from time to time with Aster and his too gung-ho ways. It's like, every time we have a fight or anything going on action-wise and Asta's somewhere in the vicinity, he's jumping in no matter what, and he's attacking people, and it's just kind of like, yo, can we see the other characters for a little bit? I love when the manga actually focuses and shifts to different characters doing different things, because when Asta jumps in, honestly, again, it reminds me of Naruto a lot. And even till this day, it still kind of reminds me of Naruto, his character, which Naruto isn't an original character by any means. You know, he's not the most original thing in the world, but it's that shonen cliche of, you know, trying hard, doing the best, being a good person. And that's what Asta does from time to time. It changes up a bit. Like when the guy was asking for help, Naruto probably would have tried to help them. You know, when the guy had the sword through him, one of the villains from, I think he was either from the Diamond Kingdom or the White Eyes, but either way, he had the sword through him, and Asta was like, nah, I'm not pulling that shit out. So the cliche normally would have been for the good guy to be like, you know, like Goku when he helped out Raditz and shit. Like, okay, you know, I'll give you another chance. Asta was like, nah, fuck that shit. Stay right there. Like, yo, you ain't gonna trick me. So those are the changes to the character. But it does get annoying from time to time regardless, where he's always jumping in. Even with two broken arms, which that was another cliche that happened. Kind of, I think Toriko did it, and a couple of the series did it as well, where they have broken limbs that are never supposed to heal again. And through obstacles and this and that. Okay, they're healed. But I gotta say, with Black Clover, it's one of those series that in order to enjoy it, you need to accept it for what it is. It's not the greatest written in the world. It's not on the, Magi greatness. It's not on Tai's Eyes level. It's not on One Piece level. It's not on Hunter x Hunter's level. It's more of, if I wanted to give it a good comparison, it's better than Fairy Tail, I want to say, based on the first 100 chapters and like the last 100 chapters of Fairy Tail for the most part. I'd say it's better than Fairy Tail. It doesn't have those crazy ass pulls, but it still falls in the realm between being cookie cutter and trying to get its way out of just being generic. That's where I feel Black Clover is right now. But if you want a really fun shonen that's kind of, again, it still to this day feels like a cross between Fairy Tail and Naruto without the BS fights, because to be honest with you, all the fights have been pretty dope. There hasn't really been any major ass pulls like what you would get from Fairy Tail. Then you'll love the shit out of this. But if you can't stand, cliches from shonen and shit like that, then you probably would stay away from this. I'm going to keep on going with this. I like what's happening right now. The Dark Witch, Asta being controlled by the Dark Witch's powers, about to kill his people, and a lot of the interesting stuff as well, because like the side characters, the Black Bulls in general is a really nice round of characters. I'm not the biggest fan of like and shit like that, but at the very least the Black Bulls, they're awesome. Yami, Luck, Magma, like those characters are fucking dope. But yeah, that's my opinions on what's been going on Black Clover recently. Really hype shit. Can't wait to see more. Maybe I'll do a review from time to time because I do want to keep up to date with it. If you're reading Black Clover and you've been following it up until this point, I'm kind of curious to hear you guys' opinions on it. Do you love it? Is it disappointing? How do you feel? And if you haven't checked out Black Clover yet, based on this video, where is your opinion going? Again, you might be able to enjoy it, but you also got to accept it for what it is. It's not a great masterpiece by any means. It's in between cookie cutter and slowly trying to make its way and carve its own path to be its own thing. And just your overall thoughts of all this. Kind of curious. That's all I have for this one though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.